Have you ever wondered why some men seem to have a natural magnetism, while others go unnoticed, even when trying their hardest? The truth is, there's an unwritten code, a set of attitudes that separates average men from those who are genuinely admired. And no, I'm not talking about cheap tricks or manipulative techniques. I'm talking about real profound transformation based on age-old principles of Stoicism combined with modern psychology. You're about to discover the 10 attitudes that make all the difference. And the most impressive part? They're all within your reach, waiting for you to decide to develop them. Imagine for a moment that man who doesn't need to speak loudly to be heard. The one who walks into a room and his presence is felt before he even utters a word. He doesn't chase, he attracts. He doesn't beg for attention, he commands respect naturally. This man wasn't born that way, he built himself. And today you'll learn exactly how to do the same. Prepare yourself, because what I'm about to share could completely change how you see yourself and how the world sees you. First, let's talk about unwavering calm. You know that feeling of losing control when things go wrong? When someone provokes you and you just explode? Well, that's the exact opposite of what we're aiming for here. The first admired attitude is serenity under pressure. It's not about being a robot without emotions. It's about mastering your reactions. It's about consciously choosing how to respond instead of reacting impulsively. Think about it for a second. How many times have you regretted something you said in the heat of the moment? How many opportunities have you missed because you let your emotions take over? Unwavering calm isn't just an attractive trait, it's a superpower in the modern world. It's what separates leaders from followers, men of value from those who are slaves to their own emotions. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine you're in an important meeting and someone aggressively questions your work. Most men would react defensively, trying to justify every detail. But the man who masters unwavering calm does things differently. He pauses, he breathes, he processes the information without letting his ego take over. And then he responds with clarity and precision, turning a potential confrontation into an opportunity to demonstrate competence and maturity. But how do you develop this skill? It starts with awareness. You need to learn to recognize the signs that you're about to lose control. That heat rising in your chest, your jaw clenching, your fists closing. These are your body's warnings. And when you notice them, you have a choice. Give in to the impulse or pause and choose a more intelligent response. The most powerful technique I know for this is simple but revolutionary. Every time you feel anger or frustration rising, mentally count to 10. But don't just count. With each number, breathe deeply and remind yourself that you're in control, that you are bigger than your momentary emotions, that your reaction defines who you are far more than the situation itself. If you're finding this interesting, leave a like right now, because we're just getting started. And believe me, the next attitudes will surprise you even more. Second, let's talk about clear purpose and defined direction. You know what one of the biggest complaints I hear about modern men is? That they don't know what they want, that they drift through life aimlessly, without clear goals, without a mission that motivates them. And that, my friend, is deeply unattractive. A woman of value seeks a man who knows where he's going, who has plans, goals, ambitions, who wakes up every day with a reason to get out of bed besides just surviving another day. But having purpose isn't about having all the answers. It's about being committed to the search. It's about having solid values that guide your decisions. It's about building something bigger than yourself. It could be a career, a business, a cause, a project. What matters is that it's authentic, that it comes from within, that it genuinely moves you. I'll share a story that perfectly illustrates this. I knew a guy who worked at a job he hated. Every day was torture. He complained constantly, but didn't do anything to change it. You know, how women saw him, as someone without courage, without ambition, without direction. Until one day, he decided enough was enough. He started studying at night, developed new skills, created a transition plan. It took 2 years, but he completely changed careers. And you know what happened? It wasn't just his career that changed. His whole energy changed, his posture changed, and yes, the way women saw him changed drastically. Purpose is like a magnet. When you have one, You attract people who value direction and determination. When you don't, you repel those very people. And believe me, women of value, the ones who really matter, they can sense from afar, whether you're a man with purpose or just another lost in the crowd. But how do you discover your purpose if you still lack clarity? It starts with honest questions. What bothers you about the world that you'd like to change? What are your natural talents that could be used for something greater? If money weren't a concern, how would you spend your days? The answers to these questions begin to draw the map of your purpose. And here's a valuable tip. Your purpose doesn't have to be grand. At the beginning, it doesn't have to be saving the world or building an empire. It can start small. It could be improving your family's life. It could be mastering a specific skill. It could be contributing to your local community. The important thing is to have something that moves you, that makes you want to be better today than you were yesterday. Third, and this is fundamental, fearless authenticity. We live in an age of social masks. Everyone trying to appear perfect on social media, pretending to be someone they're not to impress others. And you know what that has created? A huge thirst for real, authentic people who have the courage to be who they truly are. Authenticity is magnetic because it's rare. When you have the courage to show your vulnerabilities without playing the victim, when you admit your mistakes without losing your dignity, when you express your opinions without fear of judgment, you stand out. You become memorable. You become someone worth building something real with. But be careful, authenticity is not an excuse to be rude or insensitive. It's not about vomiting all your neuroses onto others. It's about being genuine while maintaining respect and consideration. It's about taking off the mask without losing class. It's about being vulnerable without being weak. Let me tell you about a common mistake I see men making. They confuse authenticity with a lack of filter. They think being authentic is saying whatever comes to mind, expressing every frustration, sharing every negative thought. That's not authenticity, that's emotional immaturity. True authenticity comes with wisdom. It's knowing when and how to share. It's choosing your battles. It's being true without being destructive. Authenticity is also deeply connected to self-esteem. When you accept yourself, with your qualities and flaws, you stop trying to be someone else. You stop competing in games that don't make sense to you. You stop seeking external validation, because the most important validation comes from within. And here's the secret that few understand. Calculated vulnerability is one of the most powerful tools of human connection. When you share a difficulty you overcame, when you admit a fear you faced, when you show that you are also human but choose to be strong despite it, you create a deep connection. You show that you are strong enough to be real. Comment now on which of these first three attitudes you find most challenging to develop. Your participation is important to me and helps other men who are on the same journey. Fourth, let's talk about something that separates boys from real men: unbreakable resilience. Life will knock you down. That's a fact. You will fail, you will be rejected, you will face losses and disappointments. The question isn't whether this will happen, but how you will respond when it does. And that's exactly where resilience comes in. Resilience isn't about being tough or insensitive. It's about the ability to recover, to learn from the blows, to come back stronger. It's about turning every obstacle into a step, every failure into a lesson, every ending into a new beginning. Women of value admire resilient men because they know life is full of challenges and want someone by their side who doesn't crumble at the first difficulty. Think about the men you most admire. I guarantee that they all have stories of overcoming adversity. Moments when they could have given up, but chose to continue. Moments when defeat seemed certain, but they found a way to turn things around. That's the essence of resilience. But how do you develop this quality if you've never been particularly resilient? It starts by changing your perspective on problems. Instead of seeing difficulties as punishments or injustices, start seeing them as opportunities for growth. Each challenge is a chance to prove to yourself what you're capable of. Each obstacle is a personal trainer in disguise, forcing you to get stronger. A powerful Stoic technique is negative visualization. It seems counterintuitive, but it works. Regularly imagine challenging scenarios and mentally prepare for them. It's not about being pessimistic, it's about being prepared. When you've already considered the negative possibilities, and have a plan to deal with them, you're not caught off guard. You respond instead of reacting. Resilience is also connected to personal responsibility. When you stop blaming others or circumstances and take control of your life, you become unstoppable. Yes, bad things happen. Yes, not everything is fair, but at the end of the day, your response is your responsibility, and that mindset is liberating. Fifth crucial point, and pay close attention to this, the capacity for deep connection. We live in the age of superficial communication, quick messages, empty conversations, shallow connections. And in the midst of all this, the ability to truly connect with another human being has become a rare and extremely valued skill. Deep connection isn't about talking a lot. In fact, it's more about listening. It's about being present. It's about making the other person feel seen, heard, understood. It's about creating a safe space where vulnerability is welcome and authenticity is celebrated. Most men make the mistake of trying to impress when they should be trying to connect. They talk about their accomplishments, their plans, their opinions, but forget to show genuine interest in the other person. And this creates an invisible barrier that prevents true connection. I'll teach you a simple but transformative technique. When you're talking to someone, especially a woman you're interested in, practice active listening. This means not just hearing the words, but picking up the emotions behind them. Asking questions that show you're really paying attention. Reflecting what was said to confirm that you understood. This simple change can completely transform the quality of your interactions. Deep connection also requires courage, the courage to go beyond the superficial, to ask questions that matter, to share what's really in your heart. It's about creating moments of true emotional intimacy, where two people can let their guards down and be real with each other. Sixth, unwavering integrity. In a time when the word of many is worthless, being a man of your word is an extraordinary differentiator. Integrity is doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. It's keeping your promises, even when it would be easier not to. It's living according to your values, even when it costs you something. Integrity builds trust, and trust is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. When a woman knows she can count on your word, when she sees that your actions align with your values, she feels secure, and emotional security is one of the most valuable gifts you can offer. But integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about admitting when you're wrong and doing what's necessary to fix it. It's about having standards for yourself and living up to them, not because of others, but because that's how you choose to live. A simple test of integrity is the little things. Do you arrive on time? Do you keep small promises? Do you treat people well who can't offer you anything in return? These small actions reveal your character, much more than occasional grand gestures. If you're following along and feeling that this content is adding real value to your life, subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell. We have much more transformative content coming, and you won't want to miss it. Seventh, intelligent humor and lightness of spirit. Life is too serious to be taken so seriously all the time. The ability to laugh, to find humor in situations, to bring lightness to tense moments is a deeply attractive quality. But pay attention, we're talking about intelligent humor, not childish antics. Intelligent humor demonstrates emotional intelligence. It shows that you have perspective, that you don't take yourself so seriously that you can't laugh at yourself. It shows that you have the confidence to joke without needing to put others down. It's about adding joy and lightness, not about masking insecurities with constant jokes. Timing is everything in humor, knowing when a joke will relieve tension and when it will seem inappropriate, knowing how to laugh with others and not at others, knowing how to use humor to connect and not to protect yourself. These nuances make all the difference between being funny and being inconvenient. Eighth fundamental point, ambition with balance. Yes, women admire ambitious men, but not those obsessed with success to the point of sacrificing everything else. True ambition comes with wisdom. It's about wanting to grow and achieve, but without losing sight of what really matters. Balanced ambition is having big goals, but also time for the people you love. It's working hard, but also knowing how to rest. It's wanting the best, but also being grateful for what you already have. It's understanding that success without happiness is disguised failure. The secret is to define success on your own terms, not by society's standards, not by what your parents expect, not by what impresses others, but by what makes sense to you, by what aligns with your values, by what allows you to sleep peacefully at night. Ninth, and this is revolutionary when applied well, generosity of spirit. I'm not just talking about material generosity, although it also has its place. I'm talking about generosity with your time, your attention, your knowledge, your support, the ability to give without expecting anything in return. Generosity of spirit is celebrating the success of others without envy. It's helping someone grow even if it means they might surpass you. It's sharing credit, recognizing the value of others, being the kind of man who elevates everyone around him. This quality is magnetic because it's rare. We live in a competitive world where many operate from a scarcity mentality. They think that for them to win, others need to lose. But the man with generosity of spirit understands that success isn't a zero-sum game, that helping others shine doesn't diminish his own shine. 10th, and perhaps the most important of all, mindful presence. In a world of constant distractions, the ability to be truly present is a superpower. When you're with someone, are you really there? Or is your body present but your mind elsewhere? Mindful presence is giving your complete attention. It's looking into someone's eyes when they speak to you. It's putting away your phone and truly being in the moment. It's making the person in front of you feel that, at that moment, they are the most important thing in the world to you. This quality is especially powerful in relationships. When a woman feels that you really see her, that you're completely there with her, it creates a connection that transcends words. It's a way of honoring and valuing that deeply touches the heart. But presence isn't just about others. It's also about being present in your own life. It's savoring the moments instead of always thinking about the next one. It's finding richness in the now instead of always postponing happiness until you achieve something more. Now I'll share something crucial. All 10 of these attitudes are interconnected. You can't have true presence without inner calm. You can't have deep connection without authenticity. You can't have generosity of spirit without integrity. They form a system, a way of being in the world that is deeply attractive not only to women but to all people of value. Developing these attitudes doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, a journey of personal transformation. Some days you'll fail. You'll lose your calm, you'll forget your purpose, you'll act without integrity, and that's okay. What matters isn't perfection but the commitment to growth. I'll give you a practical roadmap to get started. Choose one attitude per week. Focus on it. Observe how you are in relation to it. Identify where you can improve. Practice consciously. At the end of 10 weeks, you will have worked on all of them, and then start again, at a deeper level. The most fascinating thing about this process is that you're not changing to please women. You're becoming the best version of yourself, and that naturally makes you more attractive. It's not manipulation, it's evolution. It's not pretense, it's genuine development. Remember that women of value seek men of value. They have a keen radar for detecting authenticity. They know the difference between someone who's just acting and someone who has truly incorporated these qualities. That's why inner work is so important. You can't pretend to be who you're not for very long. And here's a truth that few talk about. When you develop these attitudes, you also become more selective. You stop settling for anyone who gives you attention. You seek real, deep, meaningful connections. You attract and are attracted to people who are at the same level of consciousness and development. This creates a virtuous cycle. The more you grow, the better people you attract. The better people you attract, the more inspired you become to continue growing. It's an upward spiral that transforms not only your relationships, but your whole life. But let me be brutally honest with you. This path isn't for everyone. Many prefer to continue complaining, blaming women, blaming society, blaming everything but themselves. It's easier to be a victim than a protagonist. It's more comfortable to stay in mediocrity than to strive for excellence. If you've come this far, you're not one of those. You're someone who seeks more, who doesn't settle for the ordinary, who understands that true satisfaction comes from growth, overcoming challenges, building something meaningful. The world needs more men like this. Men who inspire by example, who raise the bar, who show that it's possible to be strong and sensitive, ambitious and balanced, confident and humble. Men who understand that true masculinity isn't about dominating others, but about mastering oneself. Each of these attitudes is a daily choice, choosing calm instead of chaos, choosing purpose instead of drifting, choosing authenticity instead of a mask, choosing resilience instead of victimhood, choosing connection instead of isolation, choosing integrity instead of convenience, choosing humor instead of bitterness, choosing balanced ambition instead of obsession, choosing generosity instead of pettiness, choosing presence instead of distraction. These are simple choices, but not easy ones. They require awareness, discipline, constant practice. But the results are worth every effort. Because in the end, you're not just developing attitudes that attract women of value. You're building a life of value. A life you can be proud of. A life that matters. And when you look back in a few years, it won't be the number of women you attracted that will matter. It will be the man you became in the process, the deep connections you built, the positive impact you had, the legacy you left. That's the real reward. Not external validation, but the internal satisfaction of knowing you gave your best, that you didn't settle for less than you could be, that you had the courage to grow, to evolve, to transform. So, I ask you now, are you ready to embark on this journey? Are you willing to do the necessary inner work? Are you prepared to leave behind the man you were and embrace the man you can become? If the answer is yes, you've already taken the first step, the awareness that change is necessary and possible. Now it's time to act, to take these ideas and transform them into daily practice. To move from theory to action. Comment below which of the 10 attitudes you will focus on first. Share this video with other men who need to hear this message, and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving content that truly makes a difference in your life. Remember, you have within you everything you need to be extraordinary. The seeds are already planted. Now it's time to water them with consistent action and watch them blossom. The man you can become is waiting. Don't make him wait any longer.